I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on starts and sits. So if you have any starts or sits questions or any type of questions for fantasy football related, let me know. Hit me up in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. So with no further ado, guys, let's begin. Let's see here what we're gonna do. All right. Let's talk about the first play. I got 10 guys. Now listen, I didn't go to surface guys. I wanted to get to like guys that are like sleepers. That we are, should we play them? I don't know. So I talked about those type of guys. I didn't want to go to like Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill, which Tyreek Hill can be in that conversation because of his quarterback situation. But he's a must start for me this week. But I got a couple other guys that I want to talk about. So let's see here. My computer freezing up. Let's get this going. There we go. I don't know why is it tripping? There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So the first guy that I want to talk about that I think you should be starting this week is Justin Fields. Yes, guys, Justin Fields. I see you, Joel. What's up, King of Nike? So the reason why you should be starting Justin Fields, guys, I think he's going to be the starter for this team going forward for the rest of the year, unless he just fall off and they lose 3 games in a row or something. But the guy's undefeated. So I don't think Russell, last name Wilson, is actually coming in the game. I see you, Mr. Sleeper. So with George Pickens and Justin Fields having a great relationship, I think George Pickens' value is going to get better. And I think Justin Fields taking off running for big plays, the type of plays that we saw in Chicago, we're going to see that in Pittsburgh going forward too. And also Calvin Austin. I think with Justin Fields' strong arm, Calvin Austin will be getting some targets too. So I'm not telling you to start Calvin Austin, but I'm just telling you this is why Justin Fields should be a starter. Now, I'm not telling you to go and sit a starter. Like I'm not telling you to bench AR-15 to go play Justin Fields. But I am telling you, if you have quarterbacks that like Derek Carr, if you're a little nervous about that and you wanted to play Justin Fields, you can do it. I'm starting Derek Carr. But if you wanted to play Justin Fields, I can understand that. There's a couple other quarterbacks out there that if y'all want to ask me, hey, should I start Justin Fields or this quarterback? Let me know. But I do believe he's a star this week, especially in Superflex. And that's easy, right? Superflex is easy. Let's move on to my next guy. This is going to be a tight end from Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be Isaiah Likely. Now, listen, I'm telling you that Isaiah Likely going to go out there and have another huge game like he did week 1? No. But the process is Mark Andrews is not getting used like that. They need another alpha. Zay is the guy who's going to get hyper-targeted every game. Rashad Bateman is going to get a target if he's open, right? If he's playing a good game, if he's getting open, if he's getting separation, Lamar will find him at times. I believe they need Isaiah Likely. I believe Isaiah Likely will be out in pass patterns, and he could have a bad game. But to me, I'm not going to risk it at the tight end position. Who cares? You can get cute at the tight end position because everybody is volatile. Everybody is volatile. Travis Kelce's not having a good year. Mark Andrews is not having a good year. George Kittle has been out with injuries. Kyle Pitts is struggling. There's really no tight end. All the tight ends is kind of like the backup guys, like Tyler Conklin, these type of guys. Goddard, Dallas Goddard is not the top guy. So you can get cute and play a guy that has a lot of upside. And I believe Isaiah Likely has a lot of upside. And I'm willing to start him. Don't sit your studs to try to get him in there. Don't put him in a flex. But just play him if you are streaming tight ends. You already got a streamer. Play him. All right. Moving on. I'm going to another tight end. Guys, it's Kyle Pitts. And again, it's the same type of method. It's not a lot of tight ends that's really hitting it right now. So why not play Kyle Pitts? Sometimes y'all are trying to replace a guy that's already a replacement, right? You don't need to find a 20-point tight end. There's no 20-point tight ends out there. So just play your guys that you dance with the girl that you brought to the party with you, right? Go ahead and play the tight end that you drafted. All these tight ends got upside. They can score, right? If you got Travis Kelce, play him. If you got Kyle Pitts, play him. If you got Isaiah Likely, play him. If you got Mark Andrews, play him. right? It's not no tight end until you see 4, 5, 6 tight ends that's being consistent week after week. Then you can go and look and say, well, maybe I should drop Isaiah. Like he ain't did nothing in a month. Maybe I should drop Mark Andrews. But right now it's week 4. It's not that time. It's not that quite that time at the tight end position. Okay, let's move on to another guy. It's a wide receiver. He is a start for me this week. And this guy gave me a donut last week at the wide receiver position for the New Orleans Saints. And it's going to be Rashid Shaheed. I'm putting him in a starter. Now, listen, I'm not sitting nobody like Garrett Wilson. Actually, Garrett Wilson, guys, I want to tell you, he's a starter. I don't care nothing about no Patrick Surtain. I'm not saying Patrick Surtain won't shut him down, but I'm not going to sit here and risk Garrett Wilson just because of a matchup with a corner. Like, let them guys shut down these upper echelon guys, and you keep it moving and find somebody else. But don't get too cute where you're going to sit a stud that you drafted in the first round or the beginning of the second round just because of a corner. I don't play fantasy that way. If you want to, that's fine. You can do that. I don't see fantasy football that way. I see I'm playing my guys because I trust them. I drafted them for a reason. I'm going to play them. That's why I started Rashid Shaheed the first week. I didn't start Rashid Shaheed because I knew he was going to go for 30 points. I started him because I knew he was going to be a part of this offense. I knew what the coaches talked about, how they wanted to push the ball downfield this year to Rashid Shaheed, so I played him. So, guys, I love Rashid Shaheed. You just put him in your lineups and play him. Guys, he missed a couple plays where he could have caught a touchdown. So the targets is there. The type of targets that he's getting for the deep threat touchdown is there. So you just got to hopefully that they hit. And I don't believe there's 24 other wide receivers that you should be playing in front of him. Okay, let's move on to my fifth wide receiver, fifth guy, and it's a wide receiver. And it's from the Houston Texans. Now, this guy has an injury. I don't know if he's going to play, but he's on this list, and I still got to mention him. And it's going to be Tank Dell. Tank Dell is a wide receiver 3 or a flex play is a good play this week. Guys, the boom is coming. They know, CJ Stroud loved Tank Dell. CJ Stroud hasn't had the upper echelon game yet. He's only throwing for 230 yards. He averaged 276 as a rookie. So the passing yards is coming. The better matchups is coming. They just got to figure some things out. Stephon Diggs, when should I target him? When should I target Nico? When should I run the ball with Joe Mixon or Damian Pierce or Cam Akers? When should I throw it to Tank? They learning that. Tank Dell is still the great athlete that he is. He's still the guy who's going to push the safeties back deep. So be looking for his boom game. Don't be, oh, man, I should have started Tank Dell. Don't never do that. Just know what the guy is. If you can't get him in there, he boom, that's okay because you couldn't get him in your lineup. But if you got and you trying to play somebody that had 1 or 2 good weeks over Tank Dell, that's not as talented as Tank Dell, that's when I feel like that's bad fantasy moves. So I'm playing Tank Dell this week if he's my wide receiver 3 or a flex play. Just depending on how my team is. These guys are not all starts for everybody's team. It depends on who your starters are or who you got on your team. If you're in an 18 league, you probably can't start a lot of these guys. I went in the trash. I'm not gonna say these guys are trash guys, but these are guys that we kind of like, I don't know. I didn't want to go to the upper echelon and just go through each team. We know that. We all are good fantasy football, intelligent, smart people. All right, let's move on to the thumbnail guy. It's going to be Christian Watson. Listen, I started Christian Watson and I got like 70% of Christian Watson. I got a lot of Christian Watson. And I sit him in some leagues, and some leagues I played him. And he was okay for me. He gave me I think he gave me like 10 points in one league, and I was okay with that. Guys, he is so explosive, you kind of have to play this guy. You don't never know what's going to happen. You don't never know if he's going to take it 70 yards. Now, don't play this guy over like your top guys like Garrett Wilson. I done said that plenty of times. Play your studs. It's probably studs out there or 3 studs on your team that's better than Christian Watson. But if it's not, and you're thinking about going to the waiver wire to find some type of sleeper wide receiver, don't do it. Play Christian Watson. Play Christian Watson. Just depending on how your team is built. So I'm playing Christian Watson. I'm starting for the boom. You win leagues through the boom players, not 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. You win by 8, 8, 35, 40, 8, 8, 40. You won. You beat that guy that had 15 points each position. So you looking for the boom. You looking for somebody who's going to go for 30 point, 40 point, 30 point, 40 point. All right. Let's move on to my next guy. It's going to be a running back, and it's from the New England Patriots, and it's Ramondre Stevenson. Guys, don't worry about Ramondre Stevenson with no 1 point, 0 points, none of that. He's getting the goal line carries. Now, New England does have a decent matchup, but he's still the starting running back. So if you drafted this guy and you started him all the other weeks, start him again. He's a running back. He's getting the goal line touches. Antonio Gibson's not coming in, and they talking about, well, he's getting 2 yards a carry. He's not like with Rashad White. Ramondre played good up until last week. The offense sputtered, so he couldn't get going either. If the quarterback is struggling and the offensive line is struggling, the running back 9 times out of 10, unless you Adrian Peterson or Barry Sanders, you're going to struggle. So I believe that Ramondre Stevenson is a safe RB2. I'm starting him every week or in the flex, just depending on how my team is. If I got a lot of good running backs, I can't get him in, and that's fine. All right, let's move on, guys. I got 3 more other guys. The next guy is going to be Bucky Irvin. Now, listen, Bucky Irvin got an injury, but I'm going to let y'all know he's coming. Rashad White, he's going to be a pass down back. He's just going to be the 3rd down back. Bucky Irvin is going to be the guy that they get the ball early on 1st and 2nd downs. He's just so explosive. He had way Rashad White, who's been there a lot longer and had 400 carries. Bucky's had like 30 carries, and he's been more explosive than Rashad White. So Bucky Irvin is a guy. If he's healthy, guys, and they say he's not on the snap count, you start Bucky Irvin. You start Bucky Irvin. All right, 2 more guys. The next guy's going to be Jonathan, the 2-man Taylor. Jonathan Taylor from the Colts. Guys, I'm starting AR-15, and I'm starting Jonathan Taylor. Now, if I got Lamar Jackson and AR, I'm starting Lamar Jackson, right? I know some of you have these like 2 great quarterbacks. I don't know why y'all do that, continue to do that in single quarterback leagues. I would never do that. That's a headache. To try to have 2 great quarterbacks and figure out which quarterback is going to ball over the other guy, who knows, right? Who would have had Sam Darnold and be like, well, Sam Darnold, you don't know, right? So you just try to draft guys and keep them where you can play them and let them boom, because you don't really know what's going to happen. So you got to give guys opportunity that you believe have an opportunity to boom and play good. And I believe Anthony Richardson has a chance. No defense can stop him. You might say, well, Pittsburgh is the best defense and they can do good against Lamar. Well, AR is so gifted, it's all about him. It's not about the defense. If he's on and he's playing good and he hit a couple open guys, you in trouble. Now, if he's playing bad, he could be playing against a middle school team and he can't hit the guys, right? So it's all about AR, and I'm not going to put that on the bench. And I'm not putting Jonathan Taylor on there for those guys on the team that I drafted him. Right? Not telling you to, just go and make a dumb start, right? Or make a dumb situation dumber, right? Just go ahead and play a guy that has boom upside. If he plays bad, you still can win. Guys, you know how many times I win, and I won 5 championships last year that I had players in my lineup that gave me 5 points, but it didn't matter. I had other guys that gave me 20. So, and last but not least, guys, is going to be Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Put him in your lineup and start him every week, no matter what. Trevor Lawrence is out, start Brian Thomas Jr. Start Brian Thomas Jr. every single week. The guy's a young wide receiver, up and coming, and they trying to find ways to design plays and to give him manufactured targets. That's all I in your lineups and play him. Now, don't get, like I said, don't do nothing stupid, but try to get him in your lineup where you can. Even if you have to make trades sometimes. Guys, sometimes you have to make trades against a lot of medium players to get them out the way so you can go and play these young players who's going to have opportunities and who can be better than these mediocre players. So sometimes teams sputter because they trying to play Tyler Lockett. They trying to play Mike Evans. They trying to play a bunch of medium to maybe a little bit better than medium players. And then you don't play guys like young up-and-coming players like Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Garrett Wilson. You don't give room for them guys to mature and get in your lineup. And then you drop them, and then the number 1 team go and pick him up, and then he got a super team, and he only lose 2 games. So don't give room for these rookies that you see that's trending. That's like, okay, man, this guy is a great athlete. Get ready to move him in your lineup and put him in the flex, or hold him on to your bench until you ready to put him in your starting lineup. That's what I'm doing with Brian Thomas Jr. in a couple leagues that I got really good wide receivers. And some teams I don't got good wide receivers, so he's starting. All right, so guys, those are my 10 guys. Start these guys. All of them is not going to hit, but I don't make stars and sit videos for everybody to hit. My start of the week will be that, right? And I haven't got my start of the week yet. I haven't chose who's going to be my start of the week. That's the one I want y'all to judge me on if he hit no matter what. These guys are just guys that I feel like it doesn't matter what the results are. You start these guys because somebody going to hit. Now, if only 2 of these guys hit, then maybe I need to go back and say, well, man, you can't start these guys. But I believe in 12-team leagues, not 18, but 12-team leagues, or in 14 and 16, you have to start these type of guys in order to catch the boom and the upside. Okay. So let's get on to the chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see here. King of Nike says, first year of fantasy, and I'm 3-0. Way to go, bro. Let me know what your team is. Put your team in the chat, and make sure you let me know this was like the comment that you responding to. But I want to know. I want to see your team, bro. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. Joel says, what up, TD? What up, Joel? Mr. Sleeper said, what up, TD? What's up, Mr. Sleeper? Dr. Feelgood says, you buying into Chuba Hubbard hype? Yes, I am. Listen, I know y'all like the young rookie. If you wouldn't have said that, I would have been able to call his name. Brooks, Jonathan Brooks. I know y'all like the young rookie, but guys, he has to be able to pass protect. Can he pass protect NFL linebackers that's blitzing? Do he know how to pick them up? Do he know all the play calls for picking up to help protect the quarterback? So it's gonna take him 2 weeks. Now, if he's some stream gifted like fast 4-2 guy who can score on one play, then yeah, Chuba ain't got a shot. But I don't think Jonathan Brooks is there. I think he's just a good, solid player, running back. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. I think Chuba is fighting for his life and fighting for a contract. After this year, Chuba can get a new deal. And Chuba played good last year at the end in the 3rd and 4th quadrant. And he was struggling with Bryce Young being there, but when soon as they took Bryce Young out, Chuba boomed. I think you have. I'm riding Chuba till the wheels fall off. Pause. I think Chuba's gonna be the guy. So yes, I am taking the Chuba hype. David says, gotta start setting my alerts for when you go live. What's up, TD? Yeah, man. All you gotta do is hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell and go to all. If you already did it, go to personalize and then go back to all. Sometimes you have to just trick the system. But appreciate you being here, David. Mr. Sleeper says, man, AR-15 and Tyreek scare me right now, but I'm still winning with the low performance. That's how you should see it, bruh. They going through something. AR, he's a young player. He's maturing. That's what he's going through. Tyreek don't have a quarterback. So weather the storm. These are the most boom guys that you can get. AR can run 70-yard touchdowns and throw it 80 yards in the air. Got to play him. Tyreek is the fastest player on the field. So don't just know what you're going through. Of course, you don't want them going through this, but don't be scared. That's why you drafted other teams, other players on your team, and that's why you have me here to show you, like, hey, man, it's okay. Don't worry about that. Tyreek didn't gonna be. Man, I got Tyreek on like 90% of my teams. I'm 2-1, 3-1 about all my leagues, except for a couple of them where I'm like 1-3. So don't worry about that, bro. Tyreek and AR gonna be all right. And if they don't, you still would be able to pivot. It's quarterbacks out there. And so you need to be trying to look for quarterbacks that you can back up AR and looking for a wide receiver in case something crazy happened and Tua's out and then Skylar Thompson can't play and they can never find a quarterback to weather the storm with these guys, with the Miami Dolphins. But that's a backup plan. So have a backup plan, but trust that they're going to be okay. C.A. Jefferson says, I need some birthday props bets for tonight. Okay, bro. Let me say... The safest one to me would be Devin Singletary for a touchdown. That's a prop. I'm gonna give you a couple other ones. I don't know what the lines are, but I'm just gonna tell you guys that I think is gonna do very well. I think Malik Neighbors is going to catch 7 or 8 passes. So if the line at 6, I would take that. I don't know the yardage. And the touchdown is kind of volatile, but I wouldn't mind taking it for a freaky bet, as I call. It's a little bit out there. It's hard to guess touchdowns for guys, but I don't mind doing it for Malik Neighbors with an upper echelon player like that. I like Daniel Jones' line. If Daniel Jones got a low line, like 180 yards, 190 yards, I'm okay with going for 220 with him. Let's see anybody else that I like. I like Jalen Tolbert for about 3 catches. I like Tolbert for about 3 catches. So hopefully one of those lines can help you out, bro. Todd said, just here showing love. Appreciate you, bro. I got Isaiah Likely and Cole Kmet. Right. You could play Cole Kmet over Likely if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. David Taylor says, is it too early to pick up Eric Al Jr.? Is it worth stashing? No. I would rather go to, it's other quarterbacks out there, bro, that you can pick up that's better than him. I know Justin Herbert could be out, but I wouldn't pick up his backup. That's just me. Todd says, I'm not sure who to start, Kmet or Likely. Bro, to be honest, I would say Kmet. He just had a good game. Why not trust it? Why not trust it? I know Keenan Allen might come back. I like both of them, but Kmet they used him a lot, and I do think it has something to do with Keenan Allen. So if you want to use that as a common denominator and say, well, I'm gonna go with Likely, that's fine. But in a vacuum, I probably would just play Kmet. Let's see. Tim says, you're exactly right. Never sit your studs. Right. Right, Tim. Appreciate you being here, Tim. Todd says, 21 people in here, 3 likes. Keep liking. Support my guy. Yes, sir. Nor Fantasy says, half-point PPR. Who should I start as my RB2? Akers, Ford, or Dowdle? I don't know if Ford is going to play. I don't know if Ford is going to play. Akers makes me nervous. He's not explosive at all. He doesn't look that explosive. I want to say between Dowdle and Ford, if Ford is healthy and he practices, I don't know if he practiced today or not. I know they said he had an injury. If he practices tomorrow in full, I will go with Ford. But if he doesn't, well, you got to make that decision because tonight, the Dallas is playing tonight. I would go with Ford and be ready to pivot to Akers if I have to. Dowdle, I like Dowdle, man, but he hasn't did anything, and I don't want to tell you to put somebody in there that might have 8 points. I do like Dowdle. I think he has a great matchup. He's been out playing Zeke. He's, to me, the go-to running back if Dallas has a go-to running back. So I like Dowdle, but I think Ford just has more upside because of the usage that he gets with the Browns. So I'm gonna go with Ford. And if you have to pivot to Akers, I think that's okay. If you want to play Dowdle, you could play Dowdle tonight, but you got to lower your expectations. But he could have a breakout game. I do believe that Ford could have a breakout game. I mean, Dowdle could have a breakout game. He outsnapped Deuce Vaughn and Ezekiel Elliott last week. And he says, just in case Laporta doesn't play, Freiermuth, Fant, or Conklin. I'm going with Conklin over Fant and Freiermuth. King of Nike says, Irvin or Rashad White for RB2, JSN Higgins or MPJ or Rome Odunze for the flex. Let's see. I'm going to go with Bucky Irvin over Rashad White. I'm going with Bucky Irvin if he's healthy over Rashad White. And at the RB2, for your RB2, and as far as the wide receivers, I would go with Rome Odunze over Higgins. I would go with Rome Odunze over Higgins. I like the chemistry that Rome and Caleb Williams have. I think he's going to hit him with some big plays. Even if Keenan Allen plays. Zeus says, hey, yo, it's a big balls bin. He said, your last stream, man, was so good. I've never expected a man to throw cheeks like you, bro. Damn, okay, yeah, that's that Diddy stuff. Jacob says Dak or Jaden Daniels. Dak or Jaden Daniels. I'm going with Jaden Daniels. The rushing upside is crazy. I'm going with Jaden Daniels. Dak is safe, though. Dak is the safest guy. Got a super chat in the building. Appreciate that super chat, bruh. Robert Mitchell. He says, I have Jalen Hurts, Kyron Williams, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, A.J. Brown, Olave, Dallas Goedert, Purdy, Fields. I have Adunze and Shakir on the bench. Who, Fields or Purdy in the flex? I think we're going with Purdy, but let me make sure. Fields or Purdy. Okay. Let me make sure. Okay. I'm going to go with Purdy. I'm going with the safest guy that's been playing well, that has some good weapons. He got Juwan Jennings is a good player. We have to accept that at this point in time. He played good in the Super Bowl. He had a great game last week. So he got some weapons. He got Ayuk, who's gonna be getting better. And then we got Juwan Jennings. And then you also got Kittle, who could play too. I like the Steelers against the Colts. The Colts defense is not been as good as it was last year. Justin Fields is going to be rushing the ball more, but I can't put him over Purdy yet. I can't put him over Purdy, but I think if you was to play Fields for the upside, if you was playing against a guy who got some top upper echelon quarterbacks, Fields has more upside. Fields could run a 70-yard touchdown and throw a 70-yard touchdown bomb, whatever. He got the boom. So I would say Purdy out of Fields and Purdy. He says I have a Dunze and I have Shakir on the bench. Okay, who Fields or Purdy? Okay, AJ might not play. Yeah, AJ Brown might not play. Which do I trust, Shakir or Odunze in the place of AJ? I would trust Shakir is safe. Shakir been catching almost like 95% of his targets is thrown to him, so he's gonna catching like 4 or 5 catches a game. But Adunze got touchdown upside, and he can make big plays because he's a jump ball type wide receiver and he's also runs really well routes. I would go with Adunze for the upside over Shakir. So I always say play Purdy and Adunze. Appreciate the super chat, bruh. Appreciate that, Robert. Okay. Elisa says, "Hey TD, half point PPR Jacobs or Mason or ETN or Hubbard or Brian Robinson. Pick 3, please. Thank you. I got you." So Brian Robinson for 1. I like Brian Robinson. I think you got to play Mason. I think you got to play Mason. And Hubbard. So Brian Robinson, Chuba Hubbard, and Mason as your 3 running backs. It's close. ETN Jacobs are Jake, especially Jacobs too. Those are good guys. I'm going with Hubbard, man. The matchup. I just like Hubbard. I don't think if you want to replace Jacobs with Hubbard, I don't think you're wrong. ETN ain't done enough. I like ETN. I have ETN in a lot of leagues. I like his upside, even though the team is disgusting right now. I still like ETN, but I got to go with Hubbard over ETN because the Carolina got some sauce. They playing well. Jacobs is good, but he just don't look as explosive as these other running backs as far as the offense. I'm not saying Jacobs is not explosive. We seen him have the RB1 upside that year, but I like Hubbard. So I'm going to go with Hubbard, Chuba Hubbard, Brian Robinson, and Mason. Those are the 3 that I would pick. But you can swap out Hubbard if you wanted to for Jacobs. Appreciate that, Elisa. Ant. What's up, Ant? He says T. Higgins, Chuba Hubbard, 4th, acquired 11th, and 8th, B. Derrick Henry. Okay, so which one did he want? He said A, T. Higgins, Chuba Hubbard, a fourth acquired, 11th and 8th, or B, Derrick Henry. Which side do I like? I'm trying to answer the question the best way I know how, and I'm gonna go with the A side. I'm going with T. Higgins and Chuba in the 4th and 11th and the 8th. That's what I'm gonna go with. Hopefully that's what you're trying to ask me. If I'm wrong, bro, put the question back in the chat again. CHB, what's up, bro? He says Christian Watson needs to take over and be the man. Yes, they need to get this guy some targets. He's special. Scrooge says don't pull out the 9, Jamal. Reggie says start Rico, Jerome Cook, or Luke McCaffrey. I'm going with Jerome if he's healthy. But if he's not healthy, I don't know who you can pivot to. So I'm gonna say Rico because you didn't give me anybody that you can pivot to because Jerome Rico plays tonight. So you're gonna have to make this decision tonight. Luke McCaffrey, you can't put him in the game. So I'm gonna say Jerome, but you're gonna have to wait and make sure he's healthy for Sunday. Allen says ain't no party. Okay. Horse says is Carson still the real deal? Yes. They say Pacheco might not come back. I'm not saying Carson is like a league winner, but I think he's a solid guy that can give you 10 to 15 points. That's why I like Carson still. Excuse me, guys. Dragonheart says, what up, bro? Neighbors, Devin Singletary, Wandale, Giants defense, all stars tonight. Sneaky play, Danny Dimes. I agree. Giants defense, I don't know about that. Dak Prescott gonna put up 20 points. I don't know if I can go with Giants defense, but it's possible. It's a rival game. I know my Cowboys. Usually Dak can put up more than 20 points with CeeDee Lamb. So he says he like Neighbors, Devin Singletary, and Rondell. I like those guys too. I like Daniel Jones too. I don't talk a lot about him because of what happened a couple years ago, but I do like Daniel Jones playing with Malik Neighbors. Z632 says, let's see here. Rico says starting Ferguson, benching likely. Yes, I think that's a good move. RG says, do you think McBride or Devontae Smith are playing this week? I don't think Devontae Smith is going to play, and I don't think McBride. I don't think neither one of these guys are going to play this week. Concussion for both guys. Cameron says, but Lawrence is a mess, right? But that don't got anything to do with ETN. Listen, I told people this. A lot of people didn't want to draft Malik Neighbors. You know why? They said the Giants team is messy. They said I don't want nobody off the Giants. Now people want players off the Giants. So sometimes situations look bad, especially if it's like a bad start makes a good finish. So they struggling now. Are they gonna struggle all 17 games? You need bi-weekly starts, bro. You need these guys to come in from week to week sometimes and play for you. So I like ETN. I'm gonna put him in my lineup and just start him until they say they gonna bench him or he's not playing good. They're gonna put Tank Bigsby in there. Then I had to get rid of ETN. But right now, ETN is locked in. He catch passes. I'm playing him. That's how I see it. Lawrence is a mess. I don't have Trevor Lawrence, but I do got ETN. Isaac says, should I start Hubbard or JSN? I'm going with Hubbard over JSN. Noah Fantasy says, I think I did that one already. Yeah, just in case Deporter doesn't play, Frymuth, Fant, or Conklin, I'm going with Conklin. Between Akers, Ford, and Dowd, I'm going with Ford. You just got to worry about the injury. He might not play, so you got to be ready to have a backup plan. T. Jones, what's up, bro? T. Jones says, my opponent is playing Lockett against me this week. I'm stoked. Yes, but Lockett, man, can boom. Vino, what's up, bro? He says, I'm 0-3, mainly due to quarterback play. Would you start AR5 or Andy Dalton? This is a must-win week. So I'm glad it's a must-win, but it ain't a must-win. 0-5. You can make the playoffs being 0-5, but nobody wants to be 0-5, right? Because you're gonna have to win out probably. So this is like a must win to keep you in the middle, so you can still compete for the top 2-3 spots. I think you got to go with Andy Dalton for the safe play and let AR mature while you going through what you're going through. I don't think your team is not good enough to just roll AR out there according to how you feel, and I see that. Like I see, I'm like, damn, I'm 0-3. I'm gonna put AR5 out there, AR15 out there, and he's struggling, and I'm 0-3 now. So Andy Dalton gives you that safe feeling for your team that you need. So I like playing Andy Dalton this week. Just let me make sure. Yeah, I'm going with Andy Dalton. I don't expect him to do what he did last week. Just know that. But I think you have to go with him, because if AR15 goes out and plays another game like he did, that's going to feel terrible for you being 0-4. And you knew he had been playing bad, and you still started him, and Andy Dalton plays better than him, scored 8 more points than him, you're going to be upset. So I say go with Andy Dalton this week. I like the context. All right. Donnie Vin says, yes, sir. What's up, bro? What's up, bro? He says 12-man PPR. 3-0, first place. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Got Neighbors at wide receiver 1. Who should I start at wide receiver 2? Waddle, Odunze, or Coleman? Michael Wilson is on the waivers, and I like him this week if McBride is out. I do too. If McBride is out, I do like Michael Wilson. I would say Odunze. Play Odunze over Waddle. I'm not playing Waddle until I see Waddle do something with a backup quarterback. He hasn't done nothing with a backup quarterback. It ain't his fault. It's just the quarterbacks can't handle, Tyreek and Waddle and A-Chain. So I would go with Odunze over Waddle and Coleman, and I would probably play Odunze over Michael Wilson too this week. But I do like Michael Wilson as McBride is out. So let me give you a little bit of a ranking. I would say Odunze, Michael Wilson, and Coleman. That's how I would rank those guys. Great question, Donnie. Appreciate you being here. Congratulations on the 3-0 start. Cameron says, wide receiver only as good as your quarterback. You talking Lawrence and Daniels. I disagree. So I'm going to ask you this. Is Daniel Jones the #1 quarterback in the NFL? Let me ask you this. No, I say this. Is Daniel Jones, Cameron, a top 5 quarterback in the league? I don't know your answer. I'm looking at the bottom. So if you answer, I will see it. I'm pretty sure that you're going to say no, he's not a top 5 quarterback. Is Malik Neighbors a top 5 wide receiver? Yes, he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now. He's doing stuff that no rookies done, even over Puka. Puka played with Matthew Stafford, who has won a Super Bowl. Daniel Jones got 1 playoff win, that's pretty good. So he ain't chopped liver, but he came off one of the worst years ever as a quarterback. He hasn't threw for 20 touchdowns in almost 3 or 4 years. So, but Malik is balling. They won a big game last week against one of the best defenses in the NFL. So guys that's really, really talented can overcome quarterback deficiencies. That's how I believe it. But I get what you're saying. T. Jones says, I have Akers in the flex. My opponent has Mixon. He's starting Chase Brown instead. I'm stoked. My opponent has Mixon. I have Akers in the flex. My opponent has Mixon. He's starting Chase. Yeah, because Mixon might not play. So that's probably why he don't have Mixon in. He's starting Chase Brown got some upside. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say, oh, he's doing something crazy. There's nothing wrong with putting Chase Brown in your lineup. Chase Brown can break a long run. But I get what you're saying. You don't want to see him. You rather see him than to see Jonathan Taylor or Alvin Kamara. So I get it. But Chase Brown is sneaky, man. I got him stashed all over my leagues. The Don says, hey, TD, if I can move on from AR-15, would you get Geno? I take Geno. Geno gonna pass the ball a lot. Geno gonna be one of the league leaders in passing attempts. So I'm okay with that. If you done with AR, I'm not done with him, but you told me that you done, and that's fair. I'm not gonna try to talk you out of being done with him because I understand what's going on. I just don't want you to have any regrets if he start balling. Don't talk about where I should have kept him. Don't say that if you get rid of him. When you make a decision, be good with it and don't care about the results. Can't nobody say, well, you shouldn't have done that because at that point in time, you making a sound decision. At this time, he's been playing bad. Now I believe he can start playing good, but that's what I believe. That it hasn't happened. At least you are going off something that has happened. He's had 2 bad games. So it's nothing wrong with you moving on to a guy like Geno who got DK, Tyler, and JSN, who got really 3 good weapons with a nice, decent run game. Dragonheart says every week a new tight end emerges to top fantasy scores. Dalton Schultz this week. It could be, bruh. Musical chairs when it comes to the quarterback. Comes to the tight ends. Slitty says, appreciate you being here, Slitty. He says, Brian Thomas Jr. or Rondell. I'm going with Brian Thomas Jr. Rondell is a PPR guy. He's getting a lot of targets, like 6 or 7 targets a game, and 4 or 5 catches. So he has PPR upside. But Brian Thomas Jr. got PPR upside, and he got the boom. So I'm gonna go with Brian Thomas Jr. Even though Trevor's not playing well, I still think they want to get Brian Thomas Jr. the ball. That's what matters. Roll Tide says in a small bowl with an egg and blending together. Okay. Conscious Machine, I see you, bro. Yes, sir. Duncan Petrelli, what's up, Duncan? Braylon Allen or Carson Steele? I'm going with Braylon Allen. Now listen, this is close. This is a tomato. Carson Steele's going to get some targets. He's going to be getting some goal line touches. So it's nothing wrong with playing Carson Steele. But I'm going to say Braylon Allen over Carson Steele. Braylon Allen, they want to use him. They want him to be part of this offense. Until I see Aaron Rodgers just take over where he can win it with his arm again like he used to like 3 years ago, then I say, yeah, we can't play Braylon Allen because it's going to be all about breach. But now they still want to run the ball to take some of that pressure off of Aaron. So I like Braylon Allen slightly over Carson Steele. Conscious says, I dropped Javonte and picked up Jahan Dotson for a spot start if Devontae is out. I think it's a good spot start. I love how you said spot start. I don't have nothing to rebuttal that. Conscious Machine says, AR is like Shaq. He can't shoot free throws. Let him cook. The pocket is over for passing. Right. Let him cook. That's what you got to do with AR. He's that type of athlete. Dragonheart says, Tyler Bidet. Let's go. Yes. Yo, you want to teach me how to... Hey, I know his name. They call him Tyler Bidet. Tyler Bidet. That's what he said his name is. But yes, man, I like him. I think he's sneaky, but it's too many guys right now for me to try to pick him up and say, oh, I got the RB1 for the team. McLaughlin's still getting touches. Javonte probably still going to get some touches. T. Jones says, bold prediction. Giants beat Cowboys. Bro, that is a bold prediction, but I agree with you. I'm a Cowboy fan. I believe the Giants can beat the Cowboys. I believe that. Oh, come on, Too Evil. Is Duke the worst? Come on, bro. Why you hating on my Duke? Duke is them. One of the best basketball franchises ever. We didn't start hitting to like the mid-90s. Like 94, 95. That's when Duke came along and actually started being good. Before then, people thought we was like Harvard. So give Duke some respect. Duke is good. Appreciate you being here, Too Evil. Conscious says, double tap the screen, guys. Let's get the likes up. User 279 says, how you feel about starting Bucky Irvin as a flex? I like starting Bucky if he's healthy. King of Nike says, Kyler Murray, Ramondre, Joe Mixon, Rashad White, Bucky, Braylon Allen, Tyreek, A.J. Brown, Rasheed Rice, T. Higgins, JSN, Michael MPJ, Michael Pittman Jr., Roma Dunze, McBride, 3-0. Good team, bro. Good team. I'm not that high on Joe Mixon, but he started off with a boom. Rashad Wright is struggling, but you got Bucky, so nice squeeze. Braylon Allen, who's got a lot of upside, very, very talented. Tyreek, he is him. A.J. Brown, he is him. Rasheed Rice is killing it. T. Higgins, he hasn't done a lot. I'm not that high on him myself, but you got JSN too, and Michael Pittman Jr. in the background. Bro, I think this is a team. I would give that team. I hate to say it again. I always say B plus, right? But a lot of you have like B plus teams. Like they really good, but it is what I say an A. I don't know if I would call it an A, but it is a really good team. Two Evil says, I sub. Thank you, brother. I know you don't like Duke, but I'm glad you sub. Rico says Debo seen practicing. Yes, he should be back. Not this week, but next week. Steven Wynn, what's up? He says Leggett or Brian Thomas Jr. T-Law is seeing ghosts. He is. I like Leggett. I think he's a stash. You need to pick him up and stash him. But I would say Brian Thomas Jr. over Leggett. But I do like Leggett a lot, especially with Adam Thielen being on our. T. Jones says, I'm benching Garrett Wilson versus Surtain for Jennings. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to sit here and debate that with you because it makes sense. I always appreciate when y'all say, well, this is how I see it. Because just because I got a opinion doesn't make it right. Like my opinion of saying, well, I'm not going to bench Garrett Wilson doesn't make it right. Garrett Wilson can go out there for 3 points and that could be a tremendous set. I'm not doing it. But I respect what you're saying because the math makes sense. You got Surtain who shut down everybody under like 10 points. And he's playing Garrett Wilson, so why not sit Garrett? So I understand what you're saying. T. Jones says Acre doesn't need to be explosive. That Jags D, he just needs to fall in the end zone once or twice. He fell in the end zone last week, but he's not putting up the points that other guys are. Like Bucky Irvin, I'm not playing Akers over Bucky Irvin if Bucky Irvin is healthy because he's not. It's just going to be like one touchdown with a couple catches, and he got like 2 yards per carry. That's what I don't want. That's what I'm trying to pivot from. Vino with the super chat. Appreciate it, bro. He says 14-team PPR need RB2 and a flex. Chase Brown, Braylon Allen, Spears, Dowdle, or Kareem Hunt. He said he wants to show the world he still got it. Okay, 14-team PPR. Need an RB2 and a flex. I'm going to go with Braylon Allen over Chase Brown and Dowdle. Kareem Hunt, man, I just need to see it first. But if you want to play him, you said, he's saying he still want to show the world. That's fine. I can't do it. My teams are too strong at the running back position for me to put Kareem Hunt in, and majority of them. And the other ones, I got some other sleepers like Braylon Allen there. So I'm going to say Braylon Allen as the RB2. And flex, I would probably go with, I like Rico Dowdle. I got to go with Chase Brown slightly over Rico. But if you wanted to play Rico tonight, I think that could be a good move. I think Rico could have a good game tonight. The Giants' run defense is not that great. Appreciate that, Vino. Conscious Machine says, I need Love, Walker, and Kittle to man up. Hell, and Marvin. Right. Right. And they are going to be getting better, bro. They all going to be getting better out through the season. Conscious says, Sutton or Dobbs if Love plays. I will go with Sutton over Dobbs. I don't even know what Jordan Love is going to do when he's back with the knee injury, right? But I need to see Dobbs ball. Sutton had little bit of a good game. So I'm going to go with Sutton over Dobbs. Todd says, Bucky Irvin or Braylon Allen. I got both in the flex. If Bucky is healthy, I'm going to go with Bucky over Braylon. Bucky is getting more carries and more opportunities than Braylon. I love Braylon, but Bucky, if he's healthy, he's getting all the work. Sean Bond says, what up? What's good? Star Braylon Allen, Christian Watson, or Water in the flex. You got to start Braylon Allen. Christian Watson and Water is very volatile, but I like them as stash. And then in certain instances, I would like to start them. Start those guys, but not when you have Braylon Allen. I think he's the safest play to put them in. If you put Christian Watson or Water in, you got to be ready for 5 points or 0. If you're ready for that, then I would play them. They got more upside than him. I don't even know if they got really more upside. Braylon Allen like that. He's special. David says 10-team Superflex. Any wide receiver 3 trade ideas for Terry, McLaurin, Ridley, or Rome. I already have St. Brown and Nico looking to package it with Dowdle and Sean Johnson. Okay, any wide receiver 3 trade ideals for Terry? So to get Terry McLaurin, I would say Terry McLaurin is the guy you need to get. I don't know if you got. I don't know if you got the guys to get Terry, man. We're not gonna get rid of St. Brown. You could get rid of Nico, but I would want you to go to Terry. If it was Terry, I would like you to go to Terry McLaurin and another good wide receiver that's a little bit better than Rome. If Rome has a good game this week, then maybe getting rid of Nico for Terry McLaurin and Rome might be a good move. But right now, I can't tell you to do that. So I would tell you to hold and hold St. Brown and Nico. That's what I would do. Hopefully that helps you out, bro. Fantasy. User 279 said, TD Berber, how do you feel about starting Pittman? I'm okay with starting him and AR. Long as you don't have anybody else better, right? If you have a clear better guy, then no. But if you had between Pittman and Shaheed and you wanted to play Pittman, I would be okay with that. But I wouldn't want you to start Pittman over Marvin Harrison Jr. or somebody like that, right? That's what I mean. It's okay to start Pittman. Any wide receiver 1 guys is okay to start them, depending on what you got on your team. Sean Bond says, what's okay? We did that one, all right. Tatum said, what's up? I have a really hard question. Full PPR, Jordan Mason or Kyron Williams? I'm going with Kyron Williams. I think Jordan Mason has the better matchup, but you can't sit Kyron. He's the focal point of this offense with all these wide receivers being out. With Cooper Kupp being out and Puka being out, they're gonna find ways to get Kyron the ball. And when they get to the green zone, they're giving the ball to Kyron. Jordan Mason, I love him. He's gonna get 80 yards rushing automatically because of the way this team is built. But I just can't tell you to sit Kyron. It's kind of that. It's kind of almost like with no explanation. I'm just gonna play Kyron because his name is Kyron Williams. That's kind of sometimes you got to make that decision. Sometimes guys are very, very close, like you said earlier. Like this is a tough question, but I'm going down with the ship with Kyron Williams. He says, "Thanks for the help. You helped me win my fantasy league last year, so I need your advice again." I got you, Tatum. D-Lion says, TD, I am putting Tracy into the lineup this week against Dallas. I like that. I like that. You know I love Tyrone Tracy. DJ, what's up, DJ? Said, hello, bro. Subscribing to your channel has been the best move this season. PPR. Appreciate that, bro. I was offered Waddle for Zach Moss. Let me see what you got. You got Hall and Mason and Pacheco. And Ford, yeah, I don't think you necessarily, because you got Mason and you got Hall. Let me see, do you need, because you might need Moss, bro. Let me see what you, so I have Hall. That's 1. You got 2, and you got Ford. And then you also got Neighbors, Olave, Flowers, McLaurin, Leggett. Your receivers are good. You got Neighbors, Flowers, and McLaurin and Leggett. I don't think you need the wide receiver. I think you're just gonna be playing. You're gonna have to try to make a decision. If you was to get Waddle, you're gonna have to say, "Well, should I play Waddle or Leggett?" You shouldn't be doing that. If you keep Moss, you can play matchups with those running backs because they kind of not upper echelon guys, but they kind of like real good on their matchup days. So Moss is good. They got an easy matchup. Moss gonna get a goal line carry. Hall is your everyday starter, and Mason probably gonna start for the rest of the year. What's going on with CMC? Even if CMC come back, they probably don't want to run him into the ground, right? I think you need to keep Moss in this situation. I would keep Moss. Appreciate you, DJ. AJB says, just traded Anthony Richardson and Mark Andrews for Jalen Hurts. I don't like that trade, bro, but I respect it. I respect it, right? I traded away Jalen Hurts for Anthony Richardson, so maybe I'm biased, but to me, Jalen Hurts has peaked, And I don't know if he's peaked where he's going to be winning me a championship as the number 2 overall quarterback. If he's top 5, it's a blessing the way he looks to me. Now you could say, well, AJ Brown is out and Devontae Smith. Even with those guys being there, he didn't look like the top 2 quarterback in the league. So I would have stayed with Anthony Richardson, and stream the quarterback, because there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there that you can stream right now. And I would have kept AR to get that boom. I don't think Jalen Hurts at this point, with Saquon being on his team, can ever be like like he was a couple years ago. I don't think that. I think that Jalen Hurts is gone. But winning games, Jalen Hurts is going to be there, but not fantasy boom guy. I think AR still is in his fantasy boom situation. Like Pat Mahomes is not in a boom situation no more. He's playing for championships. So is Jalen Hurts. AR's playing for boom. He playing for stats. Not stats literally, but at this point in time, he's young, so he's just getting better. He's in negative game scripts. So that's good for us for fantasy. Robert Mitchell says, yes, sir. Thank you. Anytime, Robert. Glad to see you here, bro. Appreciate the super chat. Yes, sir. D Lion says, got B. John and Brian Robinson, James Cook, and Tracy starting this week. I love B. John, Brian Robinson, and James Cook. And then Tracy, you can throw him in. I don't know if this is the same league, but yeah, I love all those guys. Tracy's a little, edgy, cutting edge, but I like what you're seeing. I think Tracy, Devin Singletary should have a good game today, but I like Tracy, especially in special teams. Jacob Payne. Okay, here we go. Losing my place. Let's see. Let me get me some water. D Lion says, okay, yeah, he says, thank you, bro. Perfect. Now I would sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you. D Lion says, we did that one. Jacob Payne says, hey, would you start New Orleans defense or Houston defense this week? I'm starting Houston defense. All day. Lisa says, thank you. Anytime. Dragonheart says, Cam Akers again this week. I like him if you need a spot star. He should get a goal line touchdown, but is he going to play better than Chuba? I don't think he's going to play better than Chuba. Mr. Anderson. So what up, bro? You like Conklin or Likely? I like Conklin as the safe play to tell y'all for the matchup this week who to play as a content creator. But myself, my team, I'm playing Likely. And y'all might say, well, why would you tell me to play Conklin if you're going to play Likely? Because when I play my teams, I have no conscience. I don't have a conscience. I don't care about safe play. I don't care nothing about no points. I care about the guy that I'm starting. I know what he is, and I want to go down with this ship. So, but I don't put that on y'all. Now, if I tell y'all that in case you say, well, you know what, I just want to do what TD doing then. I guess he see something Likely. That's on you. Conklin is the one I'll be accountable for. I think Conklin is a solid play. With Aaron Rodgers playing better in the passing game, I think he's going to have targets for Conklin, Lazard, and Garrett, especially with Garrett going against Patrick Surtain. Louise, what's up, Louise? He says, thoughts on the trade of Jackson Smith or Bucky Irvin for Jaden Reed? No. On a trade of Jackson Smith and Bucky Irvin for Jaden Reed, that's too much. To me, I wouldn't give up all that for Jaden Reed. User 279 says, TD, I need someone in the flex, bruh. Bucky, Pittman, Tutu, Kirk, or could I double up tight end and start Laporta and Kincaid? I think we're going with Bucky, bruh. The Eagles' run defense is not weak at all. The Eagles' run defense is pretty good. I'm gonna say it's between Bucky and Pittman. Bucky and Pittman. I like Tutu. They fine. I like Kirk. The offense is not playing that well, but he's getting targets. I do. Laporta haven't did anything. Laporta hasn't played the game. Kincaid just had a touchdown. I would probably go with Pittman. I'm gonna roll. Let's see what Pittman does this week. I know it's a tough matchup. I know he probably he's going against Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter is like that, Jr. I'm gonna still go with Pittman. But if you wanted to pivot from Pittman and go with Bucky, you could. Bucky got a tough run defense. Them two D tackles are like that. Them two D tackles are like that. Tutu and Kirk, man, they lower tier guys. It's a spot start, so you basically had to get really cute and not guessing, but trying to make some type of real educated decision between guys who are third, number 3, and number 4 wide receivers on the team. Now, Christian Kirk, you could say he's the number 2, but can you count on him? We don't know what Trevor's gonna do. I'm gonna go with Pittman and Bucky. Those are my 2 guys that I think you need to get in your lineup, no matter if they got tough matchups. Great question though, user 279. Eric B says, TD, Deontay or Tyreek this week? Neighbors is my other wide receiver. Let's give Tyreek one more chance. Let's give him one more. I'm going to give Tyreek one more chance before I start telling people to sit him because they don't have a quarterback. So I'm giving him one more chance. I think you should do it too. Deontay needs to be in your lineup, but if you can't get him in there, that's fine. I understand that. Freaky Tom says, do I play George Pickens or Lad McConkey this week? My other 2 wide receivers are DK and Nico, but I won't take them out. Right. So I would play Pickens over Lad. Solo Bolo says, drop Coleman, he's trash. I ain't going to say he's trash, but the targets he's getting is trash. The targets that he's getting is trash, but he's not trash. Love Your Life says, any thoughts on Xavier Worthy? Need him to break out soon. Bro, he's going to be a boom guy. If you play him, he's kind of like, and I hate to say it, he's kind of like a Gabe Davis. If you play him, he could give you 3 points or he could give you 30. That's just Xavier Worthy. He's a boom bust guy. So he's not safe at all. So you kind of have to just play him with a no conscience and be ready to take whatever happens. That's what Xavier Worthy is, and also other players are like that. You kind of have to just, I don't care what happens, but I'm going to put him in because I like his upside. Quentin says, Hill, JSN, or Shakir full PPR. I'm going with Hill. I'm going to tell everybody to keep playing Hill. This is the last week. If he goes out and he gets you 5 points this week, then I'll start telling y'all, listen, don't play Hill until we see him have a good game. But I can't do that right now. Isaac says, Terry McLaurin or Shakir. I'm going with Terry McLaurin. Terry is him. I've been telling y'all to trade for Terry. Hopefully you got him. Michael, appreciate you being here. Michael, he says, I have Joe Burrow as my quarterback 1 and Baker as my backup. Am I wasting a bench spot on a backup quarterback, or is it smart to hold? I think it's smart to hold, especially with Joe Burrow being volatile with injuries. I think it's smart to hold. I would just keep rolling Joe Burrow out there and keep him backed up with Baker Mayfield. Patty cake, Baker's man. Roll around, throw him in the pan. User 279 says, and Geno got no offense, bro. Right. Geno got weapons. He does. I'm not counting on Geno. Counting on Noah Fant to do anything, but he has plenty of weapons, and he's going to be passing the ball a lot. So I like Geno. The Seahawks might go to the Super Bowl. I don't know about that. Todd says Danny Dimes or Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, Todd. Football guy says, who you think about going to the Super Bowl? I would say Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. Football guy says the NFL is unpredictable right now. Right. I always have been. It's hard to predict football games or anything about football. It's hard to do. That's not easy. Hey, agree life, I would, but I ain't gonna do it. I need to get through these questions. I would sing the national anthem. I'm not afraid to sing it for what I do know of the national anthem. Gavin says, does Brooks take RB1 when he comes back for Carr? I don't think so. I could be wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say this is in Staples, but I don't think so. I think Chuba's going to end up being him. Chuba's going to end up being a league winner, I believe. Derek Buck says, Bucky or Steele, half-point PPR for flex. This week, I could see going with Steele because of the matchup, but I like Bucky for the rest of the season, but still maybe this week in half-point PPR. Mr. G says Mason and Neighbors for Jennings, Kelsey, and Najee. No. Keep Mason and Neighbors. No Jennings, no Kelsey, no Najee. Keep Mason and Neighbors, Mr. G. Appreciate the question, Mr. G. Terrell T, what's up, bro? He says Higgins or London. I'm going with London. I see you, Dirty Sanchez. I see you, bro. I'm going with London, Terrell. Mr. To You says Neighbors, A-Chain, or Metcalf in the flex. Neighbors, A-Chain, or Metcalf in the flex. Neighbors in the flex over A-Chain and Metcalf. I hate to say that over A-Chain, but it looks bad with that team. Other than Tyreek, I'm not really playing a lot of those guys. I will play A-Chain when I need to. I love Metcalf. I think all those guys are starters. Let me say that first. All those guys are starters, but I'm going to go with Neighbors over A-Chain and Metcalf. I don't play fantasy that way, but it's easy. When I see Neighbors, I'm automatically, unless it's Jamar Chase or Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm starting Neighbors. Or a couple up, I'll start Neighbors over Tyreek Hill right now if I absolutely had to, right? I'm not going to play Tyreek Hill over Neighbors, which is going on with the Miami Dolphins. But all those guys are starters. Big Will in the house. Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. What's going on with you, Big Will? Silence says, darn, Nico Collins too? I can't remember. I think I remember that question, but I don't remember what it was, Silence. T. Sinclair says, Amari or Brian Thomas. I'm going to Amari Cooper. You got to play Amari Cooper over Brian Thomas. Bruce Banner. What is the guy that came on Shannon Sharp's show? Cat Williams. Cat Williams said you gotta tell him no. You got to tell Diddy no. Appreciate you being here, Bruce. Big Will says, what up, TD? What up, bruh? Mr. G says, Braden Allen, J-Mo, or Water in the flex. I'm going with J-Mo in the flex. Slightly over Braden Allen. Slightly over Braden Allen. Big Will says, need one for my flex. Quentin Johnson, Braden Allen, Keenan Allen, or Christian Watson. I'm going with Braden Allen slightly over Keenan Allen. I like Quentin Johnson, but I can't play him over Braden Allen. Not right now. I like Christian Watson. Those are all good guys. That's a great question, man. You got to play one of these guys in the flex. That's a great question. These are all flex guys. But I'm going to go with Braylon Allen for the safe. I think Braylon Allen can have a rushing touchdown. Quentin Johnson, I don't know, man. We hope Justin Herbert plays. Keenan Allen, we hope he plays with that heel injury. I think he will. And Christian Watson just volatile with the boom. I think you got too many other good guys just to throw Christian Watson in there with no rhyme or reason, right? That's what I play Christian Watson with no rhyme or reason. I just think his upside is tremendous. But right now, I'm going to play Braylon Allen slightly over these other guys. But that could change next week, man, because we need to see Keenan Allen be healthy. We need to see Quentin Johnson have one more. If Quentin Johnson has another good game, especially without Justin Herbert, then he gonna end up being like a top 24 guy. Isaac says Bucky Irvin or Carson Steele or J-Mo. Okay, we did that one already. I'm going with J-Mo over Bucky Irvin because of the matchup. I love Bucky, but he got a tough matchup, and Carson Steele just, he's still got a committee. He got a committee there. I'm going with J-Mo in a full PPR league. Rico says Higgins or Braden Allen in the flex. I'm going with, in full PPR, I would go with Higgins in full PPR. Braden Allen in half PPR, I would go with Braden Allen. I'm not big on Higgins, but I have to rank him and I have to give y'all the right breakdown. So I would say Higgins over I would go with Higgins over Braden Allen. He has more upside in a full PPR league. He can score a touchdown and maybe have 100 yards. Isaiah says Ayuk or Cup rest of the season. I would go with Ayuk. Cup makes me nervous. He's had a lot of ankle injuries lately. I'm going with Ayuk. A.E. Brody says, I have 5 wide receivers: Garrett Wilson, London, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, and Brandon Knight. Which 2 should I start for which 2 should I trade for Amon-Ra St. Brown? Well, I would say get rid of London. I don't like going London and DJ Moore, but I think London and DJ Moore could get you Amon-Ra St. Brown. Don't touch Garrett Wilson and don't touch Deontay Johnson. The rest of the guys are up for it. You can use the other guys. You can lose London, you can use DJ Moore, but don't use Deontay Johnson and Garrett Wilson. If they had take Deontay for Amon-Ra, yeah, I'd do that. You could do Deontay. I'm just telling you, I like Deontay, but if you could turn Deontay into Amon-Ra, yeah. The only guy I would say is Garrett Wilson. I think that should be a straight up trade, but you ain't gonna be able to get that. But you can do Deontay. I'm not gonna sit here and say I just like Deontay a lot. I think Deontay is gonna be a PPR machine. Stacy, I see you. What's up, Stacy? Jimmy's TV says, do you think Tutu Edward is a great spot start this week? Tutu has proven connection with staff. Yes, I do think he's a good spot start. I wouldn't say great, but I would say good. Isaac says Bucky Irvin or Carson Steele or Tyreek Hill, J-Mo in the flex. I'm going with Tyreek Hill in the flex. I'm going with Tyreek Hill. I don't feel great about it. I do want to disclose that. But I would say Tyreek Hill slightly over J-Mo. User 279 said OTD, I could start Braylon Allen or Leggett is on waivers. I don't know what you had said earlier, bro, but Braylon Allen is a start. He just don't have the upside as some of the other guys. Braylon Allen is just safe. Leggett is just you playing a rookie and trying to see what you can get out of him. We haven't seen him get enough targets to trust it yet, but I believe with them having one wide receiver down, Adam Thielen, I believe Leggett's going to get a couple more targets. I would say he get about 7, 8 targets this week. He got like 5 last week. Slitty says Roshan or Steele. I'm gonna go with Steele slightly over Roshan, but I love Roshan. I love him as a stash, not love him as a star. I love him as a stash. But I'm gonna still go with Steele. DJ says, thank you, brother, anytime. A Brody says, should I try to get a stud running back? I only have Kamara, Najee, and Rashad. I only have Kamara and Najee. I like Kamara and Najee, but yeah, you probably need somebody else other than Rashad, right? So I think you should work the waivers. Don't try to trade, because they're gonna want too much. Now, if you can get rid of Najee and upgrade to somebody good, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily try to trade Kamara unless I'm trading Kamara for like Bijan Robinson or maybe Jahmyr Gibbs or something like that. I got to get an upper echelon running back if I'm gonna trade Kamara or Saquon. You need to get that type of caliber guy, but keep working your waiver wire. I think a running back is going to come off. Like, make sure you stash guys like Braylon Allen and Chuba Hubbard. These guys are going to be good too, but I like them better than Rashad White. Big Ham says need 3, 4 PPR. Brian Thomas Jr., Khalil Shakir, Deontay Johnson, and D-Hop. Deontay Johnson, Brian Thomas Jr., Deontay Johnson, Brian Thomas Jr., and Shakir over D-Hop. Conscious Machine says Fields or Love. I would say Fields over Love just for this week. Just let's let Love come back and get accustomed. I'm not saying I don't think you should play Love. Think he's gonna come back for 2 or 3 touchdowns. If he gives you 2, you'll be okay. We don't know, right? They might run the ball a lot. They might, we don't know what type of game plan they're gonna have. We know Fields is gonna be having some rushing upside. So just because of Love injury, I'm gonna go with Fields on this. It's cutting edge. It ain't like safe. The safe play is to start your stud will be Love. But in some situations, I can tell you to get cute. And this is a time that I would say play Fields because you got Love, and I don't think it's going to kill you to play Fields and not play Love. I think you got other good players on your team. Dante Kelsey says starting wide receiver Waddle and Pickens, running back Saquon and Jordan Mason, ETN and Brian Robinson. What moves would you suggest? You need to get better wide receivers. So I would trade Mason or Brian Robinson Jr. and try to get another upper echelon wide receiver. Now, I do think Pickens will be okay, but I don't know if they're gonna be okay. I don't know your record. I don't know if they're gonna be okay within the time frame you need to make sure you stay ahead, that you make the playoffs. It could take Waddle 3-4 weeks before he get. Yeah, Pickens is very volatile. So I would try to trade Mason, ETN, or Brian Robinson Jr. I like Brian Robinson Jr. more than ETN, so maybe you could trade Mason or ETN and try to get you a better wide receiver, or work the waiver. But it's not a lot of wide receivers out there. It's a couple guys like Leggett that could be okay. Conscious Machine said, let's get to 50 likes. Double tap the screen. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Conscious. Dante Kelsey says Kincaid at tight end. He's fine. He's solid. Thomas Medina says Fletch Rico tonight or Braylon Allen. Gracias. I would go with Braylon Allen slightly over Rico. I like Rico upside, but I'm not putting him over Braylon. Stacey says, hey, Dallas DST tonight or other option, Lions DST. I would go with Dallas DST. I'm not big on either one of them, but I would go with Dallas DST. I would go with Dallas DST. Which I have a feeling Seattle and Detroit will have a big offensive day, so not keen on that. Right. So I would go with Dallas. Appreciate you, Stacy. Conscious says, I still have a hold on Jordan Whittington. Should I let him go and grab Emmanuel Wilson or Conklin in case Kittle sits? I probably would let Whittington go, man. You might be disappointed. I'm being disingenuous to your team, but I would say go ahead and get Conklin, man. I like Conklin because Kittle probably might not play, but maybe you could wait and find out what's going to happen before you actually drop Whittington. So hold on and see what you see, what kind of injuries pop up, what don't pop up, and then make your decision. Then you might end up keeping Whittington. You might not even have to make a move if Kittle's healthy. Manuel Wilson, you could grab him just as a handcuff because we know that Josh Jacobs could go down at any time. Country says, how's the team, Stacy? I'm 1-2. Robert says, I have Dallas defense tonight. Your thoughts? I would try to look for another defense, but I don't know what's on your waivers. I don't know if you have a chance to play another defense, but if you had to play a defense, I guess Dallas is okay if you got to play them. Like, it is what it is, right? But if you can, I don't know what's on your waivers. Dirty says, I just traded J.K. Dobbins and Mooney for Cup. Did I get him or did my league mates get me? I'm gonna say, bro. I'm gonna say he got you. The reason why I'm gonna say that because I don't know if Cup gonna come back and be what we want him to be. If he does, I don't know how long he's gonna stay healthy. It seems like ankle injuries has already happened. I think they need Puka to help take some of that workload off of Cooper, and Cooper can come and be him at times. Asking Cooper to take the game over and get 12 targets, that's too much on Cooper at his age. So I'm gonna say he got you. But you didn't give up a lot. As long as you got good running backs, Mooney is not. I'm pretty sure you got good wide receivers. Mooney was like drafted late. Dobbins was drafted late. So you gave. I see what you did. J.K. Dobbins and Mooney for his draft capital. That's a great move to get cut. So I don't think it'll hurt you either way. So great move, actually. Great move because you gave away guys that you drafted or picked up off waivers. So I understand the move. Way to take a chance. Conscious Machine says Ravens Lions has been my Super Bowl pick since preseason. Okay. Dirty Sanchez says TD bruh. User 279 says TD, I hate playing matchups unless I really have to, bruh, because that's how you miss out on your big guys. Right. Me too. I hate playing matchups too. User, hey man, we think a lot. We think a lot alike, bruh. Yes, sir. Eric B says Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, or Khalil Shakir on the flex for PPR. I'm going with Nico Collins in the flex for PPR. Nico Collins, he's a star, must start. Dak or Daniels? I'm going with Daniels over Dak. Dak is safe, but I'm going with Daniels. Appreciate you, Eddie. Rainey's Angel says, is Kelsey a bench stash for the fourth quadrant? Yes, I don't know if he's gonna get going in the fourth quadrant. Hopefully he does. I think they just want to keep him healthy for the playoffs. But I think he will have better games. I don't know if it's gonna be the Kelsey that we want. Dirty says, neighbors is him. TD said what he said. Yes, I said it. James Smith, what's up, bro? Yes, sir, from Britain. Let's see. User 279 says, TD, they saying CMC going to miss more time, bro. I know. That's why I say I'm feel good about Mason. But you still can trade Mason and get something nice. But yes, CMC probably going to be out, man. He went over to Germany to get that, whatever the injection, whatever it's supposed to be. Conscious says, oh no, Nico does have a hamstring issue. Okay, I didn't know. So we're going to have to see on that. But he still is a start. User 279 says they labeled it another couple months, right? But I don't think you'll go all the way to Germany for a normal injury, bro. We got a lot of the same medical stuff they got. Right. Facts. King of Nike says, should I drop JSN for Watson? No. No, I wouldn't drop JSN for Watson. Yep, stem cells from CMC, Conscious. You're right. Mike says, G, what you think about Ford versus Las Vegas? I like him, man, but he got an injury. I don't know, man. They could be using Deontay Foreman, so I'm a little worried about Ford. But if he practices tomorrow, I love him. I love him. User 279 says, I remember Kobe and went to Germany too when he hurt his Achilles, but he never was the same, right? Dirt Boy says, I picked up Carson Steele and Kareem Hunt off the waivers. Do you think Kareem takes over the Kansas City backfield or becomes a committee? And I think Steele gets the goal line touches, but I think Kareem catches passes and get a couple goal line touches. But Carson is basically the green zone, the honey touch guy. Finley the Dog says, I'm 0-3 with CMC, Puka, and Kelsey as my first 3 picks. I'm going to pack it in for the season. Bro, don't pack it in. Don't pack it in. Keep working that waiver wire. You never know what can happen, bro. Keep working the waiver wire. Dean James Talley, what's up, bro? He said, do you prefer Alexander Madison or Rico Dowdle this week? Rico Dowdle. Conscious said, trade Kelsey for Brooks and another handcuff. Yes, if you got another good tight end. So if you got Pitts or Conklin and you good with those guys going forward, yeah, you could trade Kelsey. But I wouldn't go with Brooks. But I respect what you think about Brooks. And another handcuff like Braylon Allen, yeah, I think that'll be a good move. It's solid. James says you not got Holland in your team. Hall in on your team. You not got Hall in on your team. I don't know what that means, James. User 279 says Tiger Woods had went to Germany too, bro. Yeah, right. That's golf though. That's golf. Jimmy Curley says start Juan Jennings or Phil. I don't know who that is. Yeah, start Juan Jennings this week. He's a start, bro. Appreciate you being here, Jimmy. User 279 says TD, Pittman, Bucky, Braylon, Leggett, Atwell, or Kirk in the flex this week. I'm going with Pittman, bro. I'm going with Pittman over Braylon and Bucky. Dante says, thank you for answering. Appreciate it anytime. Isaac says Kincaid or Pitts. I'm going with Kincaid over Pitts. Mr. Nobody says, I'm supposed to be in detention right now. It's all good, bro. I had those days in school. Derek Buck says Kansas City defense at the Chargers or Houston defense versus the Jags. I'm going with Houston defense versus the Jags. But if they get a backup quarterback for the Chargers, I'm going with Kansas City. So if the backup plays for the Chargers, Justin Herbert doesn't play, I'm going with Kansas City. Fresh Money says flex, Dowdle, Braylon Allen, or Mooney. I'm going with Braylon Allen. Mooney is good. Mooney is good. Let me see. I'm actually gonna go with Mooney in this situation. I'm going with Mooney over Braylon Allen and Dowdle. Mooney is sneaky. I like Mooney on that team better than I like Drake London and Kyle Pitts. RG says, okay, hold on. You going to bring back fantasy after dark? I don't know, man. It just depends on what I got going on, bro. It's hard to do that. Sit around to 11 o'clock and do content. It's just hard on me. But I see what I can do, bro. Appreciate you being here, RG. Eric B says, thanks, TD, anytime. South, what's up, South 77? He says, what up? Would you trade Najee and Coleman for IU? Both guys are on my bench. Okay, thank you for giving me that preference. Yes, I would do that. I like IU. If you can put IU in as a flex play and start him, yes, eventually he's going to get to that where we see IU being IU. I think that's a good trade. I would get that trade a B. I would get that trade a B. Michael, what's up, Michael? He said, what's up, man? Thea says, which running back two do I start, Dowdle or Akers? Which RB2 do I start, Dowdle or Akers? Other running backs are Zamir White and Algier. I'm going to say it's close between Akers and Dowdle, but I'm going to go with Akers slightly because Rico, we know that Akers is not going to have, that it's not going to be no Damian Pierce or no Mixon. So Akers going to have the full workload. So with that, puts him a little bit over Dowdle. But Dowdle, to me, I think he's going to have a good week, but I can't put that over Akers with the whole backfield to himself. So I'm going to go with Akers in this situation. Kenny says Houston defense or Packers defense. I like the Packers defense. But they playing against a great offense too. So I would say Houston defense. Ted Dawg says, appreciate your content. Start Jennings or Tyreek. I'm starting. Woo, bruh. That is rough. That is rough. I might have to go against my MO right here, man. Because if you picked up Jennings, bro, let me know when you picked it. So let me give you some context. If you picked up Jennings like this week and you spent a high waiver priority for him, you gotta play him. Because if I wouldn't have, I would have told you, Tail Dog, don't pick Jennings up unless you're gonna play him. So now by you picking him up, you gotta play him. Debo gonna be out. Tyreek don't have a quarterback. I don't know the rest of your team. I would normally say Tyreek, man, but you need to get Jennings on the field. So if you can play Tyreek and put somebody else in the bench, do that. But if it has to be Tyreek, do it, I guess. Jennings has to be on the field. If you picked him up. If you been had him, then you don't have to do it. But I would hate to see Jennings on your bench, knowing what he did last week, the type of player that he is, and just play Tyreek and he go for 6 points. That's kind of what I'm like feeling kind of. I don't feel like I'm just supposed to start my stud in this situation. This just feels a little bit different. I would say go ahead and play Jennings, but that's not. I'm not. Yeah, I would say play Jennings. Great question, Tail Dog. RG says Jaden Daniels or Kyler Murray. I'm going with Kyler Murray. I think you need to trade one of those quarterbacks. Dr. Duck says, when you say fourth quadrant, are you talking about the fantasy playoffs? Yes, Dr. Duck. That's correct. That's correct. AG says, I'm having a real hard decision between Lamar Jackson and Daniels because of matchup and weather. I'm going with Lamar. I'm not playing nobody over Lamar. Because, and I would think if you like Daniels, you need to trade one of them. I don't play fantasy where each week I'm going to try to play one of my quarterbacks over the other one, and I'm going to rotate them depending on the matchup. I don't play fantasy. Some people kill fantasy that way. I don't. I just play my guy every week. I would play Lamar Jackson over Daniels. I haven't really focused in on the weather. I will do that probably like Saturday or Sunday morning. That's when I actually really look at the weather. Vanessa says, Hurts or Prescott? I'm going with Prescott. King of Nike says, if McBride out Sunday, what tight end should I pick up off the waiver? Conklin. Pick up Conklin. Dragonheart says Trey Tucker. Adams got a hammy. Yeah, it's okay to play Trey Tucker, but it might be a better wide receiver than Trey Tucker. But Trey Tucker caught a touchdown. But I would try to look and see if I could find another wide receiver off waivers, a little bit better than Trey Tucker. Dante says, got offered Mooney and Jay Reed for ETN. No, keep ETN. Thea says, appreciate the advice, bro. Anytime, bro. I'm sorry if I'm killing your name. Robert says, Packers, Bengals, Dolphins, Vikings are on waivers. I have to drop Dallas to get who? Nah, you got to play Dallas. You have to play Dallas. You can't drop the Packers playing against Minnesota, who's the best offense in the league. You can't get Bengals, who going to be playing against Carolina, and that Bengals defense doesn't look good at all. Dolphins, they don't have any offense. Even if they was playing a great matchup, they gonna shut down if their quarterback start playing bad again. If I had to go somebody else, I would say the Dolphins. I do believe they can get a turnover, but sometimes the defense can play down when the quarterback is not playing well because they out there on the field a lot. I'm gonna say I would just go ahead and roll with Dallas out there. It's between Dallas and Miami Dolphins. Kelvin says, who do I trade for Waddle? I say Tank Dale, or Brian Thomas Jr. Fresh says stash Roshan or Bidet. I'm going with Roshan. Derek Buck says, thanks for answering my questions. Appreciate it. Anytime, bro. User 279 said, TD, what you think about Wilson or Dortch in the flex with no bro? I like Wilson. I think Michael Wilson can have a good game with no McBride. Isaac says, is Trey Conklin the same caliber tight end as Spencer Kincaid? In fantasy, yeah, but not in real life. But in fantasy, yeah, because Aaron Rodgers do like targeting his tight ends and a number one wide receiver. It could be Alan Lazard or Garrett Wilson, but Conklin gonna get targets. Now that I saw Aaron play last week, hopefully the same thing kind of happens. Dante Kelsey says, thank you. Anytime, bro. King of Nike says, Fryermuth, Parkinson, Noah Fant, Conklin leading the list. Conklin over Fryermuth. It's between Fryermuth and Conklin. I'm going with Conklin over Fryermuth. Isaac says, or should I move one? It just depends on who you moving them for, man. If you don't got a direct target, I say keep them. Mike Power says, should I trade DK and Sheba Hubbard? No. I would keep those two guys. I love those two guys. Dragonheart says, looking ahead to week 5, some players come off IR like Ricky Pearsall, CH, Keaton Mitchell. Who do you like? Ricky Pearsall. CH ain't coming in getting no role over no damn Carson Steele and Kareem. Keaton Mitchell, I don't know how he's going to be, but it looks like guys are getting better coming off of like knee injuries and Achilles injuries. So maybe Keaton Mitchell can be explosive, but they like Justice Hill too. So it could be a running back by committee outside of Derrick Henry. It's going to be between Keaton and Justice Hill, who you want. So I would say Ricky Pearsall of all those 3 guys. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. I would say Ricky Pearsall. Robert says, okay, anytime, Robert. Mike Power says, should I trade DK and Chuba Hubbard for Jahmyr Gibbs? No, I'm keeping DK and Chuba. Triple Darkness 2.0 says, if you want to win more games than you lose, always start your studs. Tell them, Triple. Some people overthink it. Come on now, Occam Razor. Always start your studs. Some people overthink it and blow their seasons. Don't be one of those guys. Facts, Triple Darkness. Facts. Nino says, send Godwin and Devontae Smith for CD and McConkey. No, I wouldn't do it. I'm keeping Godwin and Devontae Smith over CD. Only guy you really getting that you can count on is CD. McConkey, we don't know yet, so I wouldn't do it. Laporta or Likely. You got to go Laporta over Likely. If you got Laporta, his draft capital way too high on the team that he's playing with no injuries to the quarterback or anything, you got to play Laporta over Likely. I like Likely, but I didn't draft him any Laporta either. If I drafted Laporta and Likely, I would be starting Laporta over Likely. Nino says, also need one at my flex, my guy. Braylon Shaheed, Chase Brown. Shaheed over Braylon. RH says, I have CD and St. Brown. Who would you trade? I need a back. I only have Jonathan Brooks on IR. I would go for B. John Robertson. Who would you trade? I would trade CD Lamb for B. John and another piece. So go to the top 5 running backs like Saquon. You can get those guys. So especially after night if CD ball out, I say go pick a top court a running back and then go trying to find another player that can help your team and go down to a lower tier guy and play that. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Mike Power says thanks. Anytime, Mike. Robin Mitchell says Tank Dell did not practice with bruised ribs. Question. I know he's got an injury, but I still like him. This is a chance to buy low on Tank Dell. That video is still coming out before Sunday. I'm gonna give y'all some buy low candidates. Elisa says TD standard, Pitts or Goddard. Got to go with Goddard, especially with all those wide receivers being out for Philly. I got to go with Goddard. Mike Powers, appreciate the super chat, bruh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Anytime, guys. So listen, guys, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's going to be a great game tonight, so let's watch it. Put your eyes on when I say put your eyes on, what I mean is watch the game. That way you can know, like, when you watch the game, you can use details like, okay, Daniel Jones looks good. I can maybe buy low on him. He played good against Dallas. Like, stuff that people are not thinking, not just Malik Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb. The game is bigger than those. Look at Rico Dowdle. Look at not Malik Neighbors, but look at Rico Dowdle. Look at Jalen Tolbert. Look at Daniel Jones. Look at those guys. Nino says already got B-Rob in at the RB2, so worried about starting Scary Terry. No, don't be worried about Scott. Man, I like Scary Terry, bro. But need 2 flex. Still Terry, Bucky, Juan. So Juan Jennings and Scary Terry. Juan Jennings and Scary Terry. Chris says, I got Goff and Donald. Should I drop Tua? I got a lot of injuries. If you ain't got no IR spot, then yeah, I think it's okay to go ahead and drop them. It's okay to go ahead and drop Tua. I hate to tell you to do it, but you got Goff and Donald. Would you trade Garrett Wilson for AJ Brown? Yes and no. AJ Brown got a little bit of an injury history, man. He always get like hamstring injuries because he's so explosive and he's a big dude. Pause. I like Garrett Wilson going into the 3rd and 4th quadrant, bro. I like Garrett Wilson. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be hyper targeting. This guy is quick. He's a smaller guy. Pause, but he gets in and out of his routes. I like Garrett Wilson. Ideally, in a vacuum, I would say, yeah, Garrett Wilson for A.J. Brown is a win. But I just like him as a trending player for the 3rd or 4th quadrant, even though A.J. Brown value probably would be higher, and most people would tell you that's a great trade. I like Garrett Wilson for the future. Rex says, thank you for the amazing content as always, bro. Yes, sir, anytime, Rex. Conscious Machine says, thanks, TD, anytime. Dean James Taylor says, thanks, TD, anytime, guys. So listen, y'all guys be safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.